What is going on, everyone? Welcome to... Oh, my camera's not showing. Welcome to TennoTalk. This is a show that we're doing every 2 weeks or so, just talking about different things that are going on in Warframe. My name is TDefton, and over here we have three lovely guests.
Can we please keep the positions like this and not change the names?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my god, I'm from the 70s now.
Yes.
Excellent.
So
And I'm totally little.
everyone introduce yourselves. People probably already know who you guys are, but Xeno, you want to go first?
Which one?
Real
The
Xeno or
me
70s
that
as
one?
Xeno?
Right.
Good question.
Shit, what did I just knock over? Right,
What do
so
we need to
I'm Xenogelion. You can find me at youtube.com/Xenogelion. I do all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff on YouTube, including 10 o'clock and the Arbiter's assessments.
Cool. 70s?
Hi, my name's FromThe70s. I stream here on Twitch. You're basically seeing about half my stream right now. Lights. We play Warframe.
Ooh. And Navi?
Hi, I'm the dancing, humping rhino up in the top right corner here. I'm LittleNavi. I'm a Twitch streamer, Warframe partner. I stream over at twitch.tv/LittleNavi_. So you can come hang out with me sometimes if you want. Or not. That's okay too.
Everyone should, after the stream, if you aren't following any of these people, make sure you go ahead and follow them on Twitch, on YouTube, whatever they stream on. I know, Xeno, you're mostly on YouTube. Do you stream as well?
Yeah. No, it's streaming it for me.
Okay, so Xeno, you can find him on YouTube, and 70s, you could also find him on Twitch. You're eating that banana in a very strange way, Xeno. No,
Because I can.
so you can find the 70s on Twitch as well. So make sure you guys follow them and keep up with what they're doing. So today we're going to talk about TennoCon, all the stuff that happened during TennoCon, maybe some of the stuff that people in chat might not have known that happened during the actual convention, that happened during the actual event, and also some of the stuff that we saw during TennoLive, some of that awesome stuff that we saw, including Railjack and what's the name of the other one?
Tuna?
Fortuna at New War.
Yes. So we're going to talk about those, and you guys in chat, you can interact with us and ask us questions, and we'll answer them as they come. So, first question. What was your impression? What did you think of TennoCon this year in comparison to last year? I didn't go to TennoCon, by the way, so I went to it last year. I didn't go this year, so this is an important question for me. So, Xeno, what did you think?
So I certainly felt that TennoCon this year was better than last year. They are always learning. They're always upping their game. They've always got the capacity to go, what can we do better? For example, in the last couple of years, the merch stall has always been a huge bottleneck of traffic. But for this year, they actually decided, let's put it in the corner. Like, it might sound like something simple and daft, and no one cares about the merch store. No, con-goers really care about their merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
The way they laid out the actual main stage as well, so it was like landscape instead of portrait, so more people could be closer to the action, was also brilliant as well.
Okay. What about you? What were your impressions, 70s?
I wanted to say the same thing. I'm not much of a con goer, and I actually didn't even get involved with the merchandise. I tend to avoid that myself, but it was nice to have it out of the way. What I noticed was it seemed to be a lot better planned. I don't know if it's just because it's their third year and they know what they're doing a little bit better, but things seem to be laid out to allow flow. Like in the very center of the top, you had the rhino statue, like in the relays, just to kind of direct flow around that. And the fact that the main stage, I was blown away by the main stage during the main TennoLive presentation. It actually looked like a stage instead of like an extended dev stream with them sitting on a couch or whatever. With all the whites, and they were able to fold out the walls, and it was just wall-to-wall people in there. It was great. So as far as that's concerned, I was really impressed with how they had it all set up.
Cool.
For sure.
What about you, Navi? What'd you think?
Oh man, it's so hard for me to say because I didn't notice things being like more organized or anything this year because it was a different experience for me this year. Last year I got to do a lot more and I only had like 1 or 2 planned out engagements, but this year I was doing a lot all day. I was like working the whole time I was there, going around and doing things. So I didn't have a ton of time to like check out other panels or anything like that. So it's really hard for me to answer that question. It felt very chaotic to me, but I think that's because I was busier this year.
Right. So were you on stage during one of the like panels during the event?
First thing in the morning, I was the first live streamer on the big screen in the main area. So I was in the live streaming booth there. I wasn't on any panels. I did a marketing video for an escape room. I did the Twitch streamer meet and greet. I did an autograph signing at the big autograph tables at the front. All the like invited guests lined up there and like signed autographs for an hour. I did a bunch of stuff. I was all over the place. I tried to eat at one point.
All right. Well, it sounds like you guys did enjoy TennoCon. One of the next questions is, what's something that people would be surprised about that like was there during TennoCon that most people wouldn't see because they're at home? So like one of the talks, you know, that one of the devs did, maybe the escape room, like talk about some of that stuff. What was like your favorite activity there? And I guess this is more for Xeno and 70s because, like you said, Navi, you were kind of running around all day. But
I saw a little bit of stuff, like, between running around. I just didn't get to go to many of the panels or anything. I thought that the Street Fighter game was super cool. They had it set up in actual arcade style, like, Street Fighter type.
They got booths for it.
Yes, they got actual, like, arcade booths. Like, you stood up with a friend and played them.
well, that's
It was
awesome.
super cool.
They didn't have that last year, I don't think. What about you,
No.
70s?
I got to go with the life size statue of Rhino in the relay.
Oh my god.
That
I wish I
was-
saw that.
That was a
Like,
trip.
sounds
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
There's actually a picture of it with Rebecca stood next to it, and like she comes up to its knee.
Yeah.
And
when
that
she's
was
standing
before
in
they
the-
put it on the stand, too.
Yeah, before it was on the stand, because they actually put it in the little thing to make it look like it was in the pool. It
Wow.
was awesome.
That's awesome. What about you, Xeno?
So I actually went to like loads of the different panels and things. One of the panels I went to was about achievements, so how they hook them into the game and things. And one of the devs was like, "Yeah, if you guys have any ideas for achievements, go on the forums and actually list them off and things." I'm going to try and actually get some like friendly fire based achievements into the game. You know, get a rad proc and kill all your friends. The other thing that was really cool was actually if you want to be a voice actor panel with Lucas and I'm failing to remember Ballas's actor's
Max.
name. Yeah, Max. Thank you. And with George as well, and that was absolutely brilliant. Like if you want to become a voice actor, there was some really amazing stuff. And like one of the cool things, I'm going to share this with everyone now, is if you want to become a voice actor, you've got like a relatively decent microphone, but you know you've got like these hard panel floor, so walls and things, and then you're going to get these horrible reverbs. Get some PVC pipe like you get for plumbing, right? Make a cage, right? Put some blankets over it, and you've got a makeshift sound booth. And I'm actually going to go away and I'm going to do this, right? Because this sounds like an ingenious idea.
Yeah, that actually sounds great. I mean, it's easy to make. PVC pipe is really cheap, so.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so, is there anything else you guys want to talk about the con? Maybe something that could have been done better, something that you thought was done amazing. Anything of the sort. I mean,
I think the number of reveals was incredible.
Yeah.
definitely. I think they did like
just
3 or
sheer
4,
amount.
right? 3
Yeah.
or 4 different things. What about you, Xeno?
one of the things that I would actually argue they could have done better was actually label stuff clearer on the actual schedule. So there was this thing called, like, was it the Cephalon Samaris challenge thing? I had no idea what it was. It was this one room on the ground floor. No idea what it was. No documentation whatsoever. Say like, oh yeah, come win this stuff and things. Like, if people actually participated and they won, they actually get a special Cephalon Samaris glyph in Warframe.
In Warframe?
Yeah,
Oh.
and so this is limited. Huh? Yes, the showcase.
They hyped that up quite a bit.
I never heard of it. I never saw anything for it. If you look at the actual pamphlet book, there's nothing about it in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But,
maybe they could have advertised that better.
Yeah. Also 2 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days would be great.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, renting a venue for a second day would be a lot. I know I talked to DE about that last year, like asking them, is there any way that they can make it 2 days or 3 days or something like that, like do it just a whole weekend. And the problem with that is, like, they're gonna have to come up with different things to do it each day, and that's kind of difficult and also really expensive. So I said maybe in the far future, but as of right now, it's kind of hard.
I mean, they could easily, not easily, I shouldn't say easily, but they could definitely, they could definitely repeat the same content from the first day, the second day. Maybe not TennoLive, that would be a big thing at the end on the last day, but all the panels and stuff, like a lot of conventions double up on panels so that if you wanted to catch two things that are happening at the same time, you have time to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could do that. Again, I think one of the main issues isn't like the cost or anything. I'm sure they make tons of money on merch, but I think one of the main concerns is that all of the DE staff are not, like, they're all volunteering to go for the weekend and work over the weekend. They're not, like, you know, getting paid tons extra to do this.
Yeah.
And they're still expected to be there on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a main reason.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with you on that. Because I mean that is, that's kind of tough. You know, if you have all these people and you have to juggle them and try and manage all these hundreds and hundreds of people that are just coming and doing all these different events, you're gonna need the staff to do that, and not everybody on DE is gonna want to stay there for 3 days. So yeah, I get that. Okay, so let's move on to TennoLive. They had a lot of stuff, like a lot of deluxe skins, I'll definitely say that. And we'll start with that. What did you guys think of the different deluxe skins? If I could actually share my screen, I could show you one of them. But overall, what'd you think of the deluxe skins?
I'm so sorry. I just got hey kiddoed. I didn't mean to gasp at you guys. I just got hey kiddoed.
Hey kiddo.
I never got the long version of that.
Yeah,
one?
I haven't gotten it either.
It's in the folder that they sent us. But yeah. So what do you guys think of this?
So that's the Limbo Deluxe.
This is the Limbo Deluxe.
Yeah, I actually really like the look of this. It's supposed to do something different. It's not supposed to have like the weird quirky hat. It's supposed to take, so that thing on like the very front of it. We've got Silverbones in chat. He would be able to clarify this stuff. But there's a long thing in front of it. It's supposed to be like those sort of Chinese symbols, talismans, right? On like different. I think it's like supposed to be Omnioji or something like. I can't really remember. And the idea is that instead of Limbo taking off its hat, it takes that off instead and puts it back, kind of thing. So I thought that's a lot nicer. It feels more aesthetically pleasing than a top hat.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with me, Limbo is one of my favorite frames, and I think that this is a drastically different look than what we're used to with Limbo. So I don't know. I'm not really sure if I like it or not. I think it's definitely different, and I think I'll have to see it in game in order to like actually say whether I like it or not. What do you think, Navi? Oh.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
I haven't really seen much of it and I'm sorry, I was having a conversation with people in your Twitch chat
No,
People were asking for my link. I was trying to figure out how to link it.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool.
Cool. What about you, 70s?
I'd be concerned to see which parts actually move and flutter with the wind and stuff.
Well, I think that on his, what's that, his left leg? On his left leg, there's that cloth. I think that moves, and then maybe all of these pieces right here probably flow as well.
Let's be honest, I'm gonna end up buying it anyway. But
yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I do want to see it in motion. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And next we have, wait, can I just move over to the next one here? I can't. All right, that's fine. I'll open it up like this. Next we have this one, the Titania Deluxe skin. What do you guys think about that?
Awesome.
I love Titania.
For me,
I'm so excited for this one.
I thought the skin kind of looked too similar to the original.
I
in my
agree.
opinion. Like, I think it looks nice, but it's not really doing anything like super different, you know. So,
I like her cute swirly head.
Sorry,
true.
out of interest, is it possible to actually, for the stream's benefit, could you bring your thing up to the top? So
is it you on top right now?
It's still just me. It's still just me.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah,
I just
I'll
want to
fix
look at
that.
your beards, you know.
Yeah, maybe
you just
it's not
ruined
gonna
it.
have glitter in it. Ever
maybe
again.
people just want to look at your beard. All right.
Yep. So.
All right.
Right. So I agree with you, Defton. I actually really feel that is too similar to Titania's like original appearance and things, and it kind of bores me a bit. Whereas what's the other thing? I do like the look of the feet. Like the feet feel very claw-like, and I really hope that the sort of like antenna horn things don't actually move like her existing ear wings.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, it's nice. I like the details. There's a lot of details in it, and I think that looks really cool. But other than that, I'm indifferent. Let's just.
I think she looks like some kind of badass insect or something. I really like this one.
That's true. So next, let's go with the Nidus Deluxe skin. This thing, I was very surprised, first of all, that they were actually going to come out with this so soon. And I was also very surprised to see the Hellmouth as well. They completely redid the Hellmouth, and I think it looks badass. Like, I think that this dog looks insane. But what do you guys think?
The amount of people at the convention who were just running around going, "Did you see that skin for the helmets? Did you see the skin for the helmets?" Like, people were so stoked on that.
Because it looks sick. Like,
yeah, it looks really good.
It looks really cool. What'd you guys think?
I like the glowy hands crossing over the chest.
You know, I was wondering about that too. Do you think that that's gonna be just a static thing? Like, is it always gonna be like that, or?
I don't know. It would be cool if they came out when he was running abilities or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Didn't they
what
show?
doing there.
I thought they showed him when he was, because Nidus expands as he gets stacks, right? So I thought they showed those.
They did show like the exploded, expanded version of this. I don't know if you actually have it as an image, Defton.
An image of
the upgraded version of this Nidus.
Oh wait, I think I do have it actually. It's this one.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure if so those arms don't actually move in that stance, but maybe it is like when you cast an ability, like what's her name? Nova, like the Nova Deluxe skin. When
with the arms, yeah. That's true.
That would be awesome.
But I'm really wondering what they're doing with those arms, because, I mean, it would look kind of weird when your character's running around and like his arms are just like this. I don't know. I feel like it would look really goofy, you know? I mean, he still has his other arms, but still, it looks kind of weird. But yeah, overall, I like this. But what were you gonna say?
The only thing that I'm worried about is what the abilities look like, and I think that's the only thing holding this skin up, is the fact that if they don't change the visual aesthetic of the abilities, like how illusion shattering would it be if you have this such an amazing detailed sort of like weird knight looking skin, and then it casts its I want to say 4, and then all of a sudden it's just infested ground everywhere.
Infested and very organic.
And it's just like,
Right.
That's true. I never really thought about that. That could be actually really. It could really screw up with the aesthetics of the thing.
Yeah.
But what would they change it to? I guess it would be like a metallic.
Yeah.
Metallic,
organic, like spiky bits.
What were you gonna say?
Do they have other deluxe skins that actually change the abilities appearance? Because the only time I've seen that is when you're going from like non-prime to prime.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't, but as far as I'm aware, they have yet to do a Warframe that actually has a physical representation of an ability. So, like, you know, like the infested ground, they haven't had a Warframe. You know, like, so Oberon doesn't have anything like that. Or he does have the grass on the floor, but again, you don't really need to change that.
Yeah. That's true.
I find myself wondering, like, as we're talking about this, if DE ever stresses themselves out with the fact that they're constantly setting new precedents with the newer and cooler skins they come out with.
Oh,
like,
you know.
Once they do it one time and change the way an ability looks one time, we're going to want that for every deluxe skin, you know?
Yes.
I wonder if they stress themselves out with that.
They probably do, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like this skin, though. This skin looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to be getting this the instant it comes out. So the last deluxe skin that we got a glimpse of is this one, which is the Nyx deluxe skin. For me, it kind of reminds me of a knight. Kind of similar to Nidus in a way, but I don't know, maybe a different era, a different, like, medieval sci-fi type era, if that makes sense. I don't know. I like it a lot. I think it does something different. What do you guys think?
Being that I don't have Nyx, I don't know.
I get the Titania vibe that it's like, that you guys were saying, that it's a little too similar.
That's true.
To things we've already got. There are so many Nyx skins right now out there, too. Like, there's so many fashion frames options for Nyx.
That's exactly what I was saying. When I saw this skin, I was like, another Nyx skin? Like,
I feel like there are other skins that are better. I don't know. Is that just me? But I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool. She's just got so much option right now.
Yeah. And doesn't she already have a deluxe skin?
I don't even know. I have a bunch of stuff for her from the TennoGen.
Yeah, so do I. I'm pretty sure she does have a deluxe skin already. Could be wrong though. What do you guys think? You know, and 70s. Is it? Well, I know you don't have Nyx, so.
Not at the moment. I don't know.
But
I will fix that shortly.
You need to get Nyx. Nyx is a good frame.
I will when Prime Access comes out.
Better. I'm gonna be watching your account. You better.
Hey.
No, she just needs a rework.
She does, to be honest.
So I'm going to go full-blown gush mode now. First off, Nyx does have a deluxe skin. It's the Nemesis skin.
Right? Yes!
That's
true. She already has one. This is the second Nyx deluxe skin because they want to set the precedent that Warframes can have more than one. Second thing, I'm going to full-blown gush here. This was actually designed by one of my favorite artists of all time, Stepin Sage, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a comic book artist who does absolutely phenomenal stuff. He did the cover of the Warframe, the collector's edition of the comic.
The first comic, yeah.
One. Yes, exactly, like the one we got last year. And it's, honestly, I love his art, and the way he does it is absolutely phenomenal. The amount of detail, like the sort of like interlinking chain links and everything on this design was brilliant. When what's it called? I think it was LittleNavi that said this. If it wasn't, I apologize. When someone said the like Nyx has too many skins already. Like, nah, nothing beats Excalibur. Excalibur has way more than anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think she has too many. I just said she already has a lot for me to choose from.
Yes,
Like
I want to see more cosmetics for Oberon, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I genuinely love this skin, and as soon as it comes out, I honestly will be playing a hell of a lot more Nyx.
Definitely.
I didn't realize that was who did the art for it. Like, he's such a good artist.
Yeah, he's
So
great.
I'm gonna put a link in the chat for Step and Sage, but I'm also labeling this as not safe for work, because honestly, he does have some stuff on there that is actually of an adult nature, right? So if you are at work and you're sneakily watching this, please don't open this link, because you know your boss might come by and just go, what are you looking at?
Excuse me.
So yeah, but he is absolutely amazing when it comes to art.
All right. So make sure you guys check out this wonderful artist right here.
Kevin
Next,
Clint.
I wanted to bring up this. This is codename Garuda. I think that's how you pronounce
Garuda.
it.
Yep.
I think this looks sick, and I think that this is a very different concept than what we've seen before. I mean, there's literally a weapon, a giant mallet on her arm, or like, it's like a piece of her arm. I don't even know how to interpret that, to be honest. But it looks very, how do I say, very violent. And that's definitely what they were going for. What do you guys think? Like, let's talk about abilities too. What kind of abilities do you think that she'll actually have?
They've kind of announced that.
Did they do it during
It was during, I think it was the art panel when they were discussing all the deluxe skins and things.
Gotcha.
So they're actually, from what I understood, because this is secondhand information, they're taking the abilities from Revenant and they're giving them to Garuda, because
Oh, I didn't hear that.
yeah, it fit more of Garuda's aesthetic than it does Revenant's, because Revenant's supposed to be based on like Eidolons and sentience and things.
Right.
Like all the vampirism side of that just didn't make sense.
Okay. Interesting.
So the question is, what's Revenant gonna get?
Exactly. And I also have an image of Revenant as well, and we'll go into that in a second. But what do you think, 70s? I see you thinking over there.
Well, the one thing I remember that sticks out to me is they were talking about how if Valkyr's based on rage, Garuda is based on being indifferent.
Yeah.
Just cold and calculating. I'm like, ooh, give me that. I want it.
What does that even mean?
She'll kill you just as soon as look at you, and not be angry.
Yeah.
she'll kill you just to kill you, basically.
Seems legit.
She's basically a psychopath. Oh my god.
Oh, there you
What did you think, Navi?
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. What 70s was just talking about, the way they've kind of described her. I want to see how that plays out in the game, because I'm expecting her to be like graceful and terrifying, sort of.
Definitely. I think that's what they were going for with the aesthetic of the Warframe as well. As you could tell, it just looks like it. It looks beautiful and chaotic at the same time. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. But yeah, I'm really excited for this Warframe. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Let's move on to Revenant, because they showed some images of Revenant. Even though we've kind of already seen this Warframe before, they showed it off during a dev stream. I think they said that next week during that dev stream they're gonna actually show gameplay of the Warframe. So I'm excited to see that. But what did you guys think of? Or what do you guys think of this Warframe overall? Like, what kind of abilities do you think that he's going to have? I know it's going to be kind of based on vampirism, but how do you think that's going to tie into it being kind of like an Eidolon frame and everything of that nature? What do you guys think?
If
I
he
have
doesn't-
no idea what to expect. I haven't kept up with him much other than like looking at him. I don't know what they've talked about. I just keep getting spammed every time they show anything of him, like of his art and what he
Yeah.
looks like. People being like, he looks so cool. So I don't really know what to expect.
He does look
If
cool.
he doesn't have the Eidolon attack where he shoots something way up in the sky and it comes down, I'll be upset.
Of course you want the disco. Of course you want the
Of course I do.
disco.
Of course I do.
That's literally right up your alley. You're gonna be using that all stream. I know that.
Well, you think I'd play Mirage more, but I don't.
Oh, I'm disappointed. Zeno,
Yeah,
what do you think?
yeah, just to echo what Navi said, I don't know what to expect because, like, yeah, it just seems so weird. I mean, he looks like a giant gnome with that hat.
Yeah.
I do love the asymmetrical effect on his arms. So, like, I love that kind of stuff. I like it when shoulder pads look different, and you know, why does everything have to be symmetrical? But it's, yeah, I don't know what to think of him at all. And I'd much rather just get my hands on it. It's like, yeah, I'm playing this. And just hopefully not have to wait. God, what was it, like 6 months plus
Oh my God,
between Gara and Korra? There was just way too much.
Yeah, it was a big gap for sure. Was it really 6 months?
It was October to April, so
Wow.
January, February, March, April. Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah. That was a long
Isn't this the frame that's not coming with any lore too, and the first one to do so?
wait.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's not?
Apparently. That's
No
what I
lore.
Oh, that
heard.
makes me sad. I don't know how I feel about that.
I was disappointed to hear about that.
I'm just
Korra
hoping
come
it's,
with any lore?
Yeah,
she
she
did her
did.
quest, and she was the whole quest was based around her on the planes.
Yeah, remember?
No, that's Gara. Korra's.
Gara, sorry.
Cora was the cat one. Yeah,
Korra
I
was
think
the-
Cora didn't come with much lore either.
Equinox. That was just kill Tilragor. Didn't have a
A
quest.
billion times.
Yeah.
Oh my god! If you think that's a billion times, right? You had to be here back when they didn't when it wasn't a guaranteed chance to drop anything, right? 28 runs to get Nova.
Oh my god.
I loved it. I was happy with that. Apparently, I'm
I
a
remember
sadist.
that.
So
All right, so that's all of the reveal stuff that they kind of talked about. Well, all of the Warframe reveal stuff that they talked about, like actual Warframes. Now let's get into the big stuff. Let's talk about Fortuna, if that's what how it's pronounced. I'm pretty sure it is.
yeah, it is.
What do you guys think about this? The aesthetic, the whole feel, the characters that we saw, the overworld of Venus. Like, what would you guys think?
Cautiously optimistic. Same thing I said about planes.
I feel the same way. What do you think, Zeno?
I've just realized a chunk of my NDA has actually been lifted. I can actually talk about this stuff now.
Yeah.
So I went in March to DE to actually get an early glimpse of the town and the actual plains of Venus. We didn't actually get a name at that point in time, so we were like given like code names and things. I don't want to spread false information, so I'm not going to repeat them. But seeing what was there to what is there now, like we can see that there's so many similarities and things, but they've just upped the game so much. Like there weren't those giant billboards, advertising stuff whatsoever. There was no imagery of Nefanyo anywhere. When we saw it, there were no people in the environment, right? So this is going from March to July, and they spent a lot of time in between actually working on the sacrifice. Being able to see this transformation from this, you know, this is nice. This is nice to this very flushed out feeling environment. was just lovely, and also they made it quite a bit bigger as well. So it was just like, yeah, I'm really excited now to get my hands on Fortuna and just jump around, like on those hoverboards and hunting. Oh god, this
I'm so
so much good stuff.
The one thing that they've done is they got rid of the fucking door.
Yes. Oh my god. The fact that we don't actually have to go back.
I had
Yeah,
problems
it was-
with that last night, trying to get people into the plane so we could do something. You know, it's like,
And-
please just get rid of the door.
Really?
That is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so true. What were we gonna say, Navi?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I was honestly thoroughly expecting Fortuna, or like the Venus version of Planes, to kind of just be like Planes of Eidolon with a skin on it, right? Like Planes of Eidolon that looks a little different in the landscape, but same thing. But it's not at all. Like, I'm loving that they added the option for us to not have to go back in to accept new bounties. I'm loving the way that they've structured, like, the camps we're going to come across to fight. I'm loving, like, so many things. The hoverboard, of course. Everybody's freaking out about the hoverboards. The guy sitting next to me at TennoLive was just screaming when the hoverboards were shown. And I, like, at first I was having trouble understanding what he was screaming. And then I realized he was just screaming over and over again, why do I love this so much?
Wow.
Like, he was so hyped for the hoverboard. He was like, why? It's so good.
I think the hoverboards could be really cool if they do it properly. Like, I think it has to be fun to ride, and maybe do something with tricks, maybe like that you can do that still takes some skill to perform, but it's still satisfying to do. Have you guys ever played like Skate 3 or Skate 2, any of those EA skate games?
No.
I used to play Tony Hawk's, but
So-
that's going way back.
Tony Hawk's is kind of similar, but with Skate they introduced something that has to do with when you're doing tricks, you have to use both thumbsticks, and the right thumbstick was for like actually performing different tricks, and then the left thumbstick was to kind of enhance that, so like to change direction and stuff like that. And if they incorporate something like that, it would be kind of difficult with mouse and keyboard, but if they could somehow find a way to incorporate something like that with these hoverboards, I think that would make it a lot of fun, and definitely less. I mean, it's still a gimmick, but it's definitely less of a gimmick and more of like something that can keep people entertained while they're riding around on the hoverboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like also I said in chat, I hope to God we don't have to like go get fish oil and crystals.
You
and
know,
launchers.
we're gonna have to.
We're probably gonna have to.
Yeah.
But Jugai saying that Steve confirmed that they won't be. I hope that's something else they've learned from Eidolon, is that people don't want to craft launcher. You don't have to craft your Warframe every time you go out. You know,
Yeah.
why do I have to craft a launch? Make it harder to build if you have to build it or something and take a lot of resources. But once I've got it, let me just have it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
it'd be nice if there was two types of launchers, because obviously, like, I don't know what MR or how many hours you guys have. I have 2,000 plus hours. I'm MR 25. I do have this illusion in front of me of, oh, it's not hard to have all these credits and resources and things, but it actually is quite early game, and they are trying to make it so that starting players can get into these environments. Personally, I completely agree with what you're saying, 70s. There should be a K drive, a hoverboard that is just like one, infinite use.
Right.
But I think there should also be a expendable one that is cheap.
Well, and like in other MMOs, what you do is whenever you have mounts are level restricted or something to that nature, and then you have rentals up to that point. It's like, okay, well, it's a gold to have this mount for 24 hours, and then once you have 1,000 gold where you can buy it and use it whenever you want,
Yeah.
you
I
can
think
do
that
either
would
way.
make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Either
Whatever
that or
happened to the
maybe time.
cars they showed us for the planes?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
happening
yeah.
anymore? Do you guys remember that?
I do remember
I'm
that.
just remembering this now. Like, what happened to those? The like land vehicles.
Cars are
That
from Mars.
I still can't talk about.
It's going to be Mars.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
Cars from Mars. 70s.
to be honest, I think that maybe they noticed that the map was too small for cars, and I think that that's the case for planes. I mean, Plains is large, but it's not like, you know, massive, you know? So I don't really think it needs land vehicles, especially if we already have our Arcwings. So maybe they're planning on introducing it here or in the next open world that they do. I think it would actually be pretty welcome in this open world, with the Venus open world.
But who's gonna use a car when you can use a hoverboard now?
True.
All I'm gonna say, right, is you guys are way off the mark.
Really?
That's all I can say.
Oof. Damn. Okay.
Okay, they're marketing the cars for IRL. They're gonna sell real.
They're gonna
cars.
sell real vehicles.
Damn, they got it.
I knew it.
Yes, of course.
You heard it here first.
TennoTalk. This is where you get all of your information, all of the relevant information.
Are they going to have Microsoft Sync in those cars?
They better.
Yeah.
I mean, only if you want a min-max.
So, we saw a couple of other things during the show of Fortuna. The weather system looks really, or the day-night cycle. I don't know if they're also doing a weather system. They probably are. It definitely looks different than Plains. It looks like it could be night and day at the same time, which is very strange. Like, and I don't mean afternoon. I mean like it literally one half of the sky is dark, the other half of the sky is light, which is something that Steve showed on his Twitter. I think yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. Which I thought was really interesting and something different. Another thing that I thought was weird was they decided to make Venus frozen instead of really hot, because Venus is actually hot in real life, except when it's not facing the sun. But I thought that it was really interesting that they decided to go for kind of a frozen tundra instead of the hot landscape that they probably could have went for. I think that's really interesting. But one thing that we saw was this giant ass beast, which is probably going to be a boss similar to the Eidolons. What do you guys think about this? I mean, do you think that how they're approaching these bosses is good, or do you think it should be done a different way? For me, I think it should be done a different way, but I'm gonna let you guys say what you want first. So, what do you think, 70s?
What do I think? I avoid fighting the Eidolons pretty much as possible. So, if they're like that, because as a streamer, I end up multitasking so hard, like Navi was talking about earlier, that if we go to do something that requires my full attention, like fighting an Eidolon, like we used to do with the raids, I just end up sitting staring at the camera with my mouth open.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
no, I get that now.
So I'll fight them with somebody else's streaming, or I'll fight them offline. But when I'm streaming, which is pretty much the only time I have to play games, I can't do anything that takes that much of my focus.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I get that.
That's just my personal thing.
I'm sending Defton. Well, I'm sending all of you a link.
Oh,
to Steve's tweet.
Yes.
yeah. I won't be participating in that.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
Yeah. What do you think, Xeno?
So, I do have a bit of a problem with the Eidolons, right? So they are time gated, right? And unless you are a kick-ass team of amazing space ninja warriors that know how to kill Tridolons in like twice in a night, then you're going to struggle. And the semi, not explicitly but implicitly, treated the Eidolons as a replacement for the raids, and because they're time gated, it's a lot harder to do them.
Definitely.
So I hope with these giant spiders that they don't
time gate them.
fall into that. Yeah, they don't fall into that trap, or maybe you can only do them like every half an hour sort of thing. So like they only appear every 30 minutes, or like you kill one doesn't turn up again for like another 10 minutes or something like that, as opposed to time gating it as crazy as they have done. So I'm looking forward to these spiders, but I want the implementation to be done right. And one thing I want to actually highlight is a couple of things that you pointed out prior to the spiders. So we're in the eye of the storm. So the whole of Venus is this giant hot zone, but the Fortuna area is somewhere that they're trying to cool down, right? And they're using this Oroking technology to do so.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do remember
Sorry,
them mentioning that.
Yes. Additionally, and this was said many, many, many moons ago, right? There is no daylight cycle. Sorry, day-night cycle.
Wait, the video that you sent me.
It's not a video. It's just a still image.
Oh.
That is of the giant spider, right? Which I think is what you've got on display now, and a Terrorist.
Yeah, I like the size comparison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll pull this up.
Wait a minute. That thing that it's shooting is a Terrorist?
Yes.
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
way bigger,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's
They're
massive.
massive.
It's massive.
Oh.
I'm so stoked.
It's either as big as a Hydralist, or it's just under the height of a Hydralist. I imagine it's about the same size as a Hydralist. So if we got more of these things, like later down the line as a quality of life thing, like, oh my god, that would be massive.
Yeah.
Are you able to show? Are you able to show the audience?
I need to go here, and here,
And here,
and here.
and here.
So now everything.
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
No, that's bad.
Bad, very bad.
Yeah,
Okay, there it is.
yeah.
Wow, look at it. It's
Yeah.
It's very
Wow.
large.
So
I imagine those missiles are. Huh?
Nothing. I was being a smartass. Go ahead.
I was about to say, like, I feel that those missiles are bigger than an actual player.
Yeah.
Probably. They
Oh,
look
for
pretty
sure,
massive.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm stoked.
this thing looks insane.
So for me with the spiders, I'm super excited. I'm very different to what Xeno and 70s were saying about not. Although I'm not sure if Xeno said he doesn't play them.
Oh no, I will.
Yeah, I play the crap out of Eidolons right now. I run a clan as well, and my clan was always very into raiding. And then we kind of replaced that with being very into running like 3 Tridolons a night kind of thing. Like really intense. So because I get so much time to game when I'm not streaming, I have a lot of time that I game when I'm not streaming as well. So I get to the point that it's easy for me to multitask streaming and doing something as focused as Eidolon. So I end up doing a lot of that kind of thing on my stream. And I've got a bet with Headshot of who is going to figure out how to kill this thing first. There's 4 on the line, and I'm going to kick his ass.
Yeah, you'll get
Yeah,
it.
I'm super stoked. But I also really agree. I hope that they don't time gate it because that's so frustrating. It's so hard.
It is.
Like, people have lives, people have jobs. If you're already in a smaller clan or you have a small-ish group of friends, like, coordinating all, like, times that you can all play together, and then that also just happen to correspond with whether or not it's night. And, you know, you all log on and you're like, okay, let's try and do some Eidolons. And then you've got, 6 minutes left till day. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it really does suck. You're just like, it's not even worth it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So I really hope they change that. But other than that, I'm super excited for these. Like, this is one of the things I'm most excited for.
Yeah, what I was saying before is I like it, but I think that it should be done differently. So you know how Dee mentioned during TennoLive that that caves, like there's a bunch of caves around in the plains of Venus, like in this area of Venus. Well, I think that they should do something with that, and instead of just having the caves as just something that's there and something you explore, it should be something similar to dungeons that a lot of other MMOs have. So you go into a cave and you progress through it. the enemies get more difficult as you go through or something like that. And then at the very end, you have one of these giant things, and you're in an arena with it, and then you kind of have to, figure out your way and fight one of these things. I think that would be a lot better, and maybe even incorporating the technology that they have with the tiles, with the rest of the solar system, having levels that are built up with tiles and incorporating that into this. You have different tiles of the caves, you progress through it, the enemies get more difficult. At the very end, you have this arena, like an assassination mission, where you have this giant thing that you have to defeat, or one of the other bosses that they come up with in the near future. I think it should be done that way, where it's more of a dungeon, or you can maybe even consider it a raid, rather than just having them roaming around. I think there should be definitely enemies that you can fight that are more difficult just roaming around, but I don't think they should be as powerful as these bosses that go into these dungeons, you know what I mean? But that's the idea that I had when I saw this, and I thought that would probably be a better formula to keep people engaged and keep people like coming back into the planes of Venus. I don't know. What do you guys think of that idea?
Well, do you want it to be like where people can queue up for the dungeons then as well, or just instances within the instance of the planes, or just on the planes?
I never really thought about that. Maybe it should be something where you can queue up. If you already have a party and you're running through the planes, then you can go to the dungeon.
I mean, that's exactly how Final Fantasy does it right now. Is you go find the door to the dungeon, and then now you can queue for it. But
Right.
They have specific classes that you need. You need a tank. You need a healer. So I don't know how they would do that in Warframe specifically. And then she say, okay, you need a crowd control. You need, I don't know. It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, but I'm sure they can figure something out for that. They probably do some sort of UI for it, like, I want this, and this, or I want these kind of frames, and then just leave the queue open.
That said, I think you're right. Anything would be better than just this empty cave that you go through, and it's like, wow, that was neat.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
cool.
It's not really the most fulfilling thing,
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I think these new enemies look cool, and I think they'll definitely pose a challenge.
Somebody pointed out to me that they kind of look like ticks, which now I can't unsee. And I'm so much more grossed out by them than I ever was before.
That's true. They do look like ticks. Oh,
they don't have 8 legs. They've only got 4.
That's
right?
true. Yeah. I don't even want to think about that. So the last thing that we're going to talk about today is Operation Railjack, and this was definitely something I was excited to see. This is something that Steve kind of teased ages ago on one of his Steve streams, or on his Sunday streams, whatever you want to call it. He was kind of testing out navigating with ships and maneuvering around in open space, and I guess they kind of took that and ran with it and created this. And I think that it's definitely something that Warframe kind of needed, something that is interactive with your crew rather than everybody kind of running around and doing their own thing. You have a crew together working on one objective to destroy this giant ship, this giant capital ship, and everybody's kind of doing their part, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Like I said, I just think that that's something that Warframe needed, some sort of way to make the squads work together, rather than kind of doing their own thing, which is, I think, the way that Warframe is right now. Everybody's kind of just doing their own thing. But yeah, what did you guys think of the gameplay that you saw? With you're able to like manipulate the power of the ship, and you're able to fly through this open space and transfer from your ship to this capital ship. What did you guys think?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I actually, the day after TennoCon, I went to the works with a bunch of partners, and we ran into all the not all the TD staff, obviously, but we ran into like Sheldon, Steve, Scott, Rebecca, Jeff, all hanging out having burgers there. And Steve and Sheldon came over and they were like, ask us any questions you want. We'll answer everything. And they were just like point blank answering every single question we had about Railjack. And a lot of those things, I didn't think to ask them whether or not I can repeat some of that stuff.
Oh.
So like a lot of it I'm not going to go into. But one thing that they did mention that I feel like is safe to go into is that they mentioned like trying to troubleshoot ways to make it soloable. Which I find interesting because the whole reason I'm excited for it is to do it in a group like you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting, and I like am excited to see if they pull that off or not, because I don't know if the content would be the same solo.
You know,
And again, I don't know if it's something they're going to implement in the game, but it's definitely a thing they're exploring. They were talking about like we're like fooling around with the idea of using specters on the guns and things like that. And they were like, we don't know what we're going to be able to actually do, but we're fooling around with different ideas right now to try and like see what's going to happen with this.
I don't think that's a good idea, in my opinion, to try and make it soloable. I think it should be locked to like having a party, and whether you have to queue up for it or not. I just think that it should be something that should be done with a clan, you know what I mean, or at least like your friends or something like that.
Yeah.
Rather than just doing it by yourself. It just doesn't seem like that kind of game mode to me. But,
Yeah, and again, I don't know if they actually are going to make it soloable or not, but they're exploring all these different options with it, and I hope that's not a direction they go in. I kind of like there being some things in the game that encourage you to reach out and meet people and reach out and play with other people.
Right.
So I really hope it stays like this group event, because I'm really excited for it.
Definitely. Well, what'd you guys think?
So, first off, this was the reveal that really excited me the most, because being able to transition from ground-based combat into space-based stuff was brilliant. Steve has always said that he wanted to have this seamless, you're never not behind your Warframe, right? Which is why we had the whole Lisette situation. We got removed from our Warframes kneeling at a central star chart to we're on a ship and we're walking around our ship. So being able to do that transition was absolutely amazing. Personally, I would like to see more players on the ship, not just limit it to 4.
To 4.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, more people. I want at least 12 memes of take me over there, I want to hit it with my sword. Right?
Oh god.
I also want to burst a bubble if anyone is under this impression, because I've had a few people say this. I do not think Railjack is coming like very soon after or even with Fortuna. I think it's going to be months down the line.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, I think they'll spread all of this out until next TennoCon probably. All their reveals, like what I see them probably doing is like 3 months Fortuna, 3 months Railjack, 3 months New War, and then TennoCon. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but
I'd be impressed if New War comes out before TennoCon next year. Like genuinely impressed if they do actually do it. But the things that concern me is the lack of procedural generation in terms of the ships. So, like, you know, you go onto a Corpus ship. Oh, it's the same layout as the Corpus ship that I did last 20 times. You know, I wanted to have more of a dynamic feel, like the inside structure of the ship is different. If they're unable to do that, I think that's going to spoil it a lot.
Yeah.
that's a really good point.
I can agree with that. And I'm sure they will, though. I mean, they have the technology to, you know, to make these procedurally generated maps. Guys, I mean, they do it with the tile system that we have right now with most of the other missions. So I feel like they would make it procedurally generated, but I guess we'll have to wait and see and keep on asking questions. What'd you think, 70s?
So I've been boring my community to death because I bring it up every night. That Star Wars Galaxies Jump to Lightspeed, where we'd all get into a Corellian Corvette and go blow shit up together as a guild. And you had people with fire extinguishers ready to put stuff out, people on guns, people flying. You'd had to have a navigator to do certain abilities like jam radar or change the power settings on the engine and stuff like that. I have been dying for something like this to come out. Not necessarily in Warframe, but anywhere. And somebody had mentioned Guns of Icarus, and it's not really sci-fi. It's just kind of like, you know, like old school kind of steampunk stuff. I don't know. This I desperately want this badly.
Mhm.
So, but I'm willing to wait longer if that means it gets more polish and they do a better job with it.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah, I want this real bad.
Oh,
I'm super
I wanna
excited.
paint
can we
mine
play
yellow
it together
color.
when it comes out, 70s?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You better invite me. I want to play.
Well then,
We'll
there you
talk,
go.
maybe. I don't know. We're gonna have a talk in our squad. We don't have a lot of time to plan. I don't know.
Cries.
I'm just kidding.
I know. No, but yeah, this is definitely gonna be cool. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm not really sure how it's going to work, to be honest, in terms of whether it's going to be based on clans or whether it's going to be based on, I don't know, alliances. Whether it's just going to be personal, like your own personal ship. I mean, it wasn't really.
So they're still trying to work that out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
so
figured.
after TennoCon, they typically hang out with a lot of the content creators on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And Steve, with his space hat, randomly appeared, which he's never done before. And he basically said that one thing he definitely didn't want to do was gate it behind clans, because DE are determined that when you start Warframe, you have all this option on the same ground floor. So the last thing that they want is a new player coming to Warframe to play the space-based stuff, and they have to get into a clan first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Makes
So
sense.
yeah, they're trying to work all this stuff out.
I'm not
I
really-
actually
think
got
clans
somebody
are
to
like-
play. I got somebody to actually join playing Warframe because they saw Arkwing and they thought it was really cool.
Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Arkwing is cool. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it looks cool.
Arkwing
You
is
know.
It looks
brilliant.
cool. It looks cool.
I'm really excited for the way that Arkwing is integrated into the rest of play with Railjack. That's what I had wanted
Yeah.
Arkwing to originally be integrated into the game as. Kind of
Yeah.
this seamless. Yeah. So I'm excited for that for sure.
like ground to air
Navi, do you,
type
do you
stuff.
have?
What? No, what were you gonna say?
You know?
I was just about to ask Navi. Do you have a lungfish on your window of your
Yeah,
Lasette?
it's my lungy. He's my lungy friend. He came with me
Oh
all
my
the way
God.
from the plains.
Oh my god!
So
I,
pretty.
He's
I
beautiful.
don't know. I don't know how I'm reacting to the fact that you've put something on a window.
His name is
God.
Xenogelion. His name is Xenogelion.
Oh my god.
What? You don't have a fish on your windshield? What's wrong?
Yeah,
with
like,
you?
what are you doing? It's the only safe way to drive is to have a big dead fish right on your windshield.
I've got a Norg though. That's what's on mine.
A
Nice.
Norg.
You genuinely have a fish on your windshield.
No, no.
Okay.
You will now, though, right now that you've seen my style style tricks.
Probably not. Mine are all in my aquarium where they belong.
Yeah.
I might actually have to put one on my window though.
Those
Just-
plugs
just to
take
annoy
work. It's work. Work.
It does take a lot of materials to build those too. I don't
To
know.
be honest, after I did the 24-hour stream, I genuinely can't remember how many hundreds of lungfish I fished.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. Oh, we've lost 70s.
70s.
He's
Okay,
back.
there we go. Welcome back.
Well, there's the second time Discord has bounced on me for no reason.
I love how Defton
I
just
didn't
kind of
summon.
wailed at him and it worked.
See, I knew. It's my call. I called him and he returned.
That's your call.
So, yeah, so that is basically all the stuff that happened during TennoLive. There was a couple of other things like the custom MOAs and some of the characters that we saw.
Wizard hat.
The wizard hat, yes, of course.
No, I mean the custom MOAs
the
need a
custom
wizard
MOAs
hat.
with the wizard hat, yeah. Oh wait, they need a wizard hat, you said?
They need a wizard hat.
They do need a wizard hat. I mean, we have a top hat and a bow tie. I guess that's good enough, right?
No, need a wizard hat. Wizard
Not
Harry.
good enough.
And a robe.
And a robe.
Yeah.
Huh. How would a robe work? I guess just a cloth.
Who knows? That's the ease problem.
You need your robe and wizard hat. That's just the thing that you need.
But yeah, so this is basically all the stuff that we that I thought was really important from the TennoLive event and TennoCon. Did you guys have any last things you wanted to mention, whether about the operations that are coming, or not the operations, the new updates that are coming, or the overall experience at TennoCon, whether people should come or not, stuff like that? What do you guys, any last things you want to say?
Oh man, you should definitely come to TennoCon. I've been every year so far to every TennoCon, and it keeps getting better. It keeps getting bigger. It keeps getting more exciting, more hype, and more fun things to do. I definitely, it's, especially if you love this game, it's my favorite convention, and I go to a lot of conventions, and it's by far the smallest convention I go to, and also by far my absolute favorite. The people that show up are super good. Everyone is super enthusiastic about the same things you're enthusiastic about. You can turn to the guy sitting next to you at TennoLive and make an immediate friend. It's so good. Definitely make it out to TennoCon.
That's true.
Yeah, you seriously, it's worth it. I mean, obviously living in the UK, it is hell of a commitment, but you've got a year, right? It's coming in a year's time. Do it. It is totally worth it. DE are amazing people. They are out to make a piece of art, as opposed to, just, this is just a AAA title that we're trying to milk money out of. They are trying to make their proverbial baby, basically, and it's absolutely gorgeous to be a part of it. So yeah, no, totally try and make it to TennoCon.
Well, and they're passionate about their game, and it really shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ambition.
and about the players too. That's another thing I wanted to say, is that a lot of game development companies kind of do that thing where they're like, you guys, you mean so much to us, the players, we wouldn't be here without you, and you're our family, and it's really easy to imagine that Steve and all those folks are just getting on stage and saying that to us every year, but they really live their life that way. Every time I've gone there, I've been to their office a few times, not just for TennoCon, and every single time they act like I'm one of their closest friends. They act like I'm family. Every person I saw them interact with, even not at the convention, even when they weren't working, when we bump into them at the shopping mall and stuff, they act like we're all their friends, and they're so grateful that we play their game. That's not an act. That's just how they are, which makes me want to support the game even more.
Absolutely.
Here's a big thing, right? This shows how much DE are genuinely committed. This sounds like I'm fucking pitching for it. I'm not, right? We weren't going to get Railjack, right? They had a week before, the Railjack reveal. They had a week before TennoCon, and they were like, "It's not ready. It's not ready." So, apparently, so many of the devs just worked God knows what hours to make sure it was ready by TennoCon. That's how committed they are.
Yeah, and you don't really see that from many other game developers, to be honest.
No.
So, you put a lot of respect on DE's name.
Yeah.
What do you have anything to add, 70s? Any last things you want to say?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. But I mean, what everybody said here is definitely true. If you did not have the opportunity to come to TennoCon this year, unfortunately I didn't, next year, make it something, make it a goal. Ask your parents for Christmas money, ask your parents for birthday money, save that up, do whatever you need to do in order to come down, because I know DE would appreciate it, because they, just like everybody said here, DE works so hard on the game, and they want to make sure that this game is as good as it can be. So yeah, that's basically all we have for TennoTalk for the day. We're already 9 minutes over the hour, but I hope you guys enjoyed. This is, as I said, a show that we do once about every 2 weeks, depending on if there's a large Warframe event or anything like that, like TennoCon. But usually takes place every other week. The next episode will be on the 28th. You can check our events page to see if, to see exactly when it's coming out, or to see who is actually going to be joining us. So make sure you keep track of that and join us on the next episode of TennoTalk. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Boy.
Bye.
Ooh, wonderful.
Who was that? Who just did that?
Shh, don't worry about it.
Oh my god.